WVUA's BJ Millican is in Oklahoma City covering all the action and joined us now live with an update.
Hey guys, you know, it's been a great night, a great day for softball here in Oklahoma City. I will say I'm not Richard Scott, but it's really hot and the sweat is dripping down. We've got some cool stuff, though, going on behind us right now. Check it out. It's some of the pregame festivities with the honor guard and a band going on. It's really been hot out here all week. That hasn't affected these guys. They've done a great job all week with the pregame festivities and whatnot. Alabama's going to need a fire lit under them tonight if they want to force a Game 3. It was a warm reunion for Leona Lafiele, one of the Crimson Tide players. A cool scene. Her sister comes back to meet her here in Oklahoma City. She was the only player who didn't really have a family member here supporting her. So that was great. She came, she surprised her. It was a great video. You see here the wonderful reaction that she got. It was pretty awesome. Later in sports, Lee Smith is going to tell you how the Crimson Tide softball team is going to try to get back at Hannah Rogers, who had such a great game last night. We'll have that for you a little bit later.
WVUA Sports' BJ Millican is live in OKC with more on how Bama plans to turn the tide
Gary,
tonight
you
in Game
can
2.
smell
BJ?
the softball in the air. That's right. It might be the cinnamon glazed almonds, though, that are right over here, and all the great food that is out here in Oklahoma City. But the thing is, Alabama can't be distracted by things like that. And even though I can be distracted by things like that, the Tide has to know that they can't panic here in Game 2 tonight. Let's look at some video from last night. Hannah Rogers pitched well, but she had a lot of defensive help. 2 key double plays last night got her out of some trouble, erased Alabama base runners, which definitely didn't help the Tide's chance of scoring. And then it was going to be the Tide's inability for Jackie Traina to get going, and Florida just pounded her in 2 innings specifically. For Alabama to have any shot at going to Game 3, they're going to have to take some lessons that they learned in 2012.
We definitely came back relentless, and we were winning the little things, and we were very aggressive, and we had a plan, and we bought into it. So I think tomorrow we all need to come to a plan, each and every one of us, what we decide, and then go with that plan.
2 years ago, I think the biggest difference between the Game 1 and Game 2 was we had a game plan going into Game 2. We took what we learned from what happened in Game 1, and we learned from our previous at-bats, and we watched film, and we had a game plan going into what we were going to do.
You know, this game, we kind of feel out Hannah and their hitters and see what they were looking for, and Steph, Allie, and I and Adam will go back to the hotel and watch the game again and come up with a better game plan for tomorrow.
Well, I don't know, Gary, if you can hear it, but Paradise City is playing right now. It's going to be Paradise City for either Florida tonight, winning their first national championship, or Alabama, who would get to play tomorrow. And the good news for Alabama, 3 times has teams lost a first game and come back to win it all. So that is the good news. Reporting live from Oklahoma City, I'm BJ Millican, WVUA TV.
Thank you, BJ. I got a good feeling tonight about the Tide bouncing back and forcing a Game 3. We will find out. We'll see you again on Tider Insider TV. Here's BJ Millican live from OKC with more.
Well, guys, the crowd is here. They are filed in. The teams just came in to big cheers from the crowd. Florida is on the other side. They're on the third base dugout tonight. Alabama will be on the first base dugout. And the thing with Alabama tonight, they didn't look last night like the same team. You guys just saw the highlights. They didn't look like the same team that we saw all year long. They looked a little rattled. Maybe tonight they can kind of get that out of their head. Let's look at some video. Again, tonight is a big night for Alabama because it's win or go home, do or die, all those cliches that you can possibly think of. Alabama has to come through with a clutch performance in Game 2. And after last night, Alabama feels like it does have a better feel for Hannah Rogers and this Gators team.
You know, this game, we kind of feel out Hannah and their hitters and see what they were looking for, and Steph, Allie, and I and Adam will go back to the hotel and watch the game again and come up with a better game plan for tomorrow.
I mean, they're a great team, and just like Murph said, we have to have those three. Great timely hitting, pitching, and defense. So tomorrow we're just going to make quicker adjustments and just work from there.
I think we finished the game, fairly strong. I mean, I know we didn't score any runs, but we did get to where we proved that we can hit her. She didn't no-hit us. She didn't one-hit us. So I think going into tomorrow, that's something that we're all going to look at, kind of visualize that 7th inning again. We proved that we can get to her. We just got to do it earlier tomorrow.
Now, 3 of Alabama's 4 hits last night did come in the 7th inning off of Hannah Rogers, so maybe Alabama did start to get a feel for her late. What about deja vu? Let's talk about that. It's a funny word. It means that you feel like you've done something before. Well, we have done this before. Alabama in 2012 dropped the first game against Oklahoma in this series, and they came back and used a little magic. We've got Katy Perry singing about magic in the dark horse, and that's exactly what Alabama's hoping to do tonight, is get a little deja vu, beat Florida tonight so that they can play tomorrow night. And that's why Alabama says that they are not going to panic.
2 years ago, this is exactly what happened too, so we're not too worried. Obviously, we'd like to win the first one, but since we won it and lost the first one last time, it's not a really big deal to us.
We definitely came back relentless, and we were winning the little things, and we're very aggressive, and we had a plan and we bought into it. So I think tomorrow we all need to come to a plan, each and every one of us, what we decide, and then go with that plan.
2 years ago, I think the biggest difference between the game 1 and game 2 was we had a game plan going into game 2. We took what we learned from what happened in game 1, and we learned from our previous at-bats, and we watched film, and we had a game plan going into what we were going to do.
And here you go. You see some of the fans filed in here at Oklahoma City's ASA Hall of Fame Stadium. Tonight, it could be Florida celebrating a championship on this field behind me, or it could be Alabama celebrating a win. Either way, we're going to be back here live at 10 o'clock on WVUA News at 10, whether they win or lose. So we'll see you guys then. Gary and Rodney, I'm going to send it back to you.
And game 2 is tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN. The Tide has got to win the game, or else Florida will become the second team joining Alabama from the Southeastern Conference to be crowned Women's College World Series champion.